Hello and welcome to New Mexico Day Trips. I'm your host, Shelley Carney.
And I'm your other host, Toby Eunice.
Yes,
So how come I don't have a share screen here?
present. They changed it to present. And we're here tonight to talk about the ribbon cutting at the preview opening of the new Route 66 Visitor Center. We visited the Visitor Center. It's actually a visitors and event center last Friday. Actually, we went on Sunday and we gathered some footage, and then Toby went on Thursday, and then we went together on Friday. We were there a lot this last week.
We have. If you guys need footage of the Route 66 Visitor Center on 9 Mile Hill in Albuquerque, we got the footage. I don't know.
That's right. It's a brand new building, and it's not even quite finished yet. They were doing a preview opening, lots and lots of speeches.
2 hours worth of speeches.
Yeah.
But the reason, I mean, there's a very rational reason for it. This thing started development in 1992, and there were a lot of people involved in having it come to its fruition to this point. And as Shelley said, this was a preview. It's still not going to be open, completely populated and curated until probably January of 2023, as our friend Luis told us. But they've been at it since 92, 93. What concerned me was when I heard that, I thought to myself, when was the design done? Fortunately, they had the foresight or the insight to do the design recently, and the architects that they hired for the design were very, very good. They did a great job. I need to turn banners on and do some housekeeping, but why don't you finish that story?
So we did want to share it with you right away, though, because it is an events center. People can rent the facility, and there is a state-of-the-art kitchen, brand new, industrial strength kitchen in there,
commercial,
and a banquet facility. So that if you wanted to, you could have a small conference, small meaning under 500, so about 315 people, I think, was the capacity of the room. Plus, they had a stage, so you could do speaking in there. So you could have retirement parties or wedding receptions or
a small
quinceanera,
a small conference,
a big old birthday party or family reunion. They had it dressed up in different ways. So they had all the way from very fancy sort of a wedding or New Year's Eve party type of thing, all the way down to, like sort of a, cowboy birthday or whatever you wanted to do there. Very nice facility. So we wanted people to be aware that it was there and available for rent, and that they could see the views that were offered by this building.
It's in a beautiful location. Now, it's what used to be an industrial location. So when you overlook the city, one of the things that's going to get away is there's a trucking company down below it. But eventually that'll be gone. I'm sure somebody's going to turn that guy into a park or something, because it really is one of the prettiest views of Albuquerque, because you look literally from what we call 9 Mile Hill down into the Rio Grande Valley, which is, of course, where Albuquerque is. I used to go out there to do time lapses. As a matter of fact, I have one. I'll share the link for the time lapse that I did in that same location when it was actually just a parking lot for a commercial company. Yeah.
You want to open comments?
I do. Do we have comments? Yeah. Oh, it's from Colorado Memorial Finishing LLC.
So it says, hello.
Hello, friends.
Hello.
Howdy. Good to have you here.
So you had housekeeping, you said?
I had housekeeping, but I wanted to finish that story. Actually, I guess we can talk about it. Let me do housekeeping first. So, first of all, we would appreciate it if that before you leave this evening, you like our video, or if you're seeing it after it is published, and it is a video, not a live stream, please click the like button. YouTube likes it when you like our videos. Share it with your family, your friends, your neighbors, your business associates, the entirety of your social media network, so that we can grow the channel. And finally, if you're not already a subscriber, this would be the ideal time to click on the subscribe button. When you see the notifications bell, click on the notifications bell, and that way every time we schedule a live stream, schedule a video, or actually begin a live stream, you'll be immediately informed and as a result, in the know, unless you're Mary Green and then you get your notifications 3 days later or something. So thank you for letting me do
Hopefully
that.
that's picked up.
So a lot has gone into the development of this facility. We happen to know some of the people that were involved. I wouldn't call them intimate, like they're not best friends, but they're business friends. We've done business with them before. We've done business with Mayor Tim Keller. We've done business with Luis Hernandez, who ultimately is going to be the operator. But they've already identified the 4 people who are responsible for populating the conference side of this. So, if you're having a wedding and you want to use this facility for your wedding, you can do that. As Shelley said, there's a full-sized commercial kitchen. There's this facility that will hold, a dining slash. You always use the right name for it. The upstairs room.
Banquet
room that'll hold up to 350 comfortably. They've got it set up with a stage. They've got it set up with a video projector hanging from the ceiling. So the design is very contemporary. The architects who they hired to design this, they knew what they were building. In addition to that, there's going to be a museum down there celebrating on the bottom level, celebrating Route 66, and you're going to see some of these. There is a media room that holds, I think it was a 75-inch screen, and they'll have videos constantly playing in the area. As a matter of fact, eventually some of our videos will be on it as well, as long as they're related to Route 66. Access is very, very easy when you're coming on I-40, which is the east-west route that goes through Albuquerque. As you get to Atrisco Vista Road, that's where 9 Mile Hill starts. So you turn onto that exit and you go about, a half mile east towards the mountains, and it's right there on the right-hand side. So it's very...
It is right on Route 66, Central Avenue.
Right.
And the reason we're going into all of this is because, for most of us, you think, oh, it's a visitor center off the freeway. It must be like a rest stop, right? You go to the bathroom and walk your dog and that sort of thing. No, this is a much more high scale, highfalutin type of a place. And we're going to show you a video of it.
Yeah. So some of the other things they plan for it is they're going to curate, I keep forgetting the names, the signage.
Neon signs?
No, they didn't call it neon.
Yeah, they did. They said neon sign graveyard.
Yeah. Where old Route 66 that went through Albuquerque, neon signs, including one that I saw was Kurt's Camera Corral, which was a photography company, a camera company on Central Avenue, just up from the University of New Mexico, that we all used to buy our cameras, films, and other accessories. They also did photo processing, of course. There is a tap room there. I don't know what its hours are going to be, but I think the plan is to make it reasonable afternoon to evening hours so that it becomes a regular hangout. They will be hosting New Mexico beers. They're not a brewery,
right?
But they will be
place to serve
New Mexico beers and spirits, which is a new changed recently. It's a New Mexico law that allows breweries to serve spirits as long as they are New Mexico based spirits. So and we've had those. There's a place nearby us called Turtle Mountain
Brewery.
Is a brewery, but it serves New Mexico spirits. So it has it'd be a great place. Shelley and I agreed, and that's what they did this weekend. It would be a great place for a car show. And as you know, Route 66 through New Mexico is the basis for what is referred to as the lowrider culture. Although it's not just lowriders. We saw, I think I saw 4 or 5 different clubs, each club with a different kind of purpose: older cars, sedans, Cadillacs, and then the lowriders. And the lowriders, the investment in time and money was amazing. There was one that we saw that you'll see video of that everything was dipped. Instead of chrome, they used gold. And then they engraved it, this detailed engraving. You'll see some of it. It really needs close-up pictures, and I should have done more. But we have a limited amount of time. And we'll tell you more about how we collected the content and what a great opportunity was provided us. We look forward to working with these guys. They're very good guys to work with.
Now, this is supposed to be, and it's hoped to be, an anchor business that it will attract other businesses. People who are going to be running restaurants and hotels are, can start looking in this area, and there is land for sale all around it. So they're hoping that, hotels will come in and start to add to, the upscale area of, of this place, so that people will know that there's something on the west side that can compete with uptown or anything else out there, having hotels and restaurants and other businesses that shopping mall type of place.
So the two upscale areas in Albuquerque on the interstate, one is, as Shelley said, uptown, where all the shopping areas are, as well as the restaurants. If you're going and you want to go to a location that has multiple restaurant options, you go uptown. The other one is Nob Hill, which is older but has the same thing: lots of restaurant options, lots of entertainment options, including theaters and clubs and things like that. But there was nothing on the west side. As a matter of fact, what the west side is known for actually is the sand dunes. The sand dunes are up there. I don't know if you remember when we were the last time we interviewed Mayor Keller. He mentioned that one of the things that he liked doing, day trips, was he liked taking his kids to the sand dunes, and that's where all the ATVs go up, and they tear around there on Saturdays and Sunday afternoons. They have picnics and things like that. Well, that's another opportunity for development, because that's not private land. That's city land. Actually, it's county land. So they may look for a way to start developing that in the areas as well. But the other thing that Shelley and I both noticed as we were driving down Central was areas that were just fenced off now have fences and for sale signs. So I'm sure that what they've done is promoted the idea that if you're going to sell your property up there, this would be a good time to do it, since we're looking for ways to build out some development out there, or promote some development out there. So I felt like they were on the right track, doing the right things, and it was a good place to do it. We really enjoyed it. So what I want to do first is I'm going to share our video with you. And as usual, this video will go up at 8 o'clock independent of the presentation. So if all you want to watch is the video, and then we'll come back and we'll tell you a little bit about how we collected the content and some of the tools that we used in order to get that content, and what a great opportunity it was. So when we went out on Sunday, the Sunday before, we were just winging it. Shelley had seen an announcement that this thing was going to take place. So we thought we'd go out there. Well, I'll tell you all about it afterwards. So we'll talk about what we did on Sunday, what happened on Thursday. So let's bring this into the stream and then open it at big and wide. And
did you enable the audio?
I did enable the audio.
But you haven't done it there yet.
You haven't. You don't have to tell me more than 3 times.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Ready? Here we go.
This was drone footage.
Oh, it hasn't resolved in HD yet. Wait a minute, guys. Let me stop this for just a sec. So I need to go and refresh this screen. Otherwise, they're going to make us watch it in 360 instead of 1080. There we go. That's what I like. That make it look a lot better.
There we go. So it is just off the freeway. I-40 on Central.
Buenos tardes, Burke. This is going to be a very, very special center, and I'm so excited to open it shortly. I'm not going to take too long because we've heard some amazing speakers who have pretty much told all the stories that need to be told. All I want to end this ceremony with, I think, is a few notes of gratitude about connections. You know, fundamentally, Route 66 is a road. It's a road meant to connect places and to connect people on that road. And when I think about even our own stories of connections, which I loved hearing, you know, Counselor Sanchez might have forgot to mention he was also Officer Sanchez. He might have met me at a kegger down there on the west side too, down at 9 Mile Hill. We used to also run that thing for high school, you know, out at St. Pius. So not such a good memory there. But let me tell you, this is such an important part of central New Mexico and frankly of all the Southwest and the history of our country. We've heard about the stories since time immemorial. We've heard about that crossroads between the Camino Real and the trail between Tijeras for our Native Americans. And we know in the modern era that other stories continue to be born out of Route 66. And in some ways, and I probably have the most recent story since my family came here to trade for turquoise. My grandfather was a silversmith on Route 66. So in many ways, that's why I'm here as part of the newest generation to celebrate this wonderful center. But it's also a story of connecting people together that usually may not always understand what is in the best interest of the city. And so I want to thank Councilor Pena. We've talked a lot about her today, but I will tell you it was 12 years ago when she trailblazed right through my door in the state senate that was made of wood. And she just runs in there, kicks the door open. I mean, literally it was about like that, banging on the door. Who's at the door? I had never even met her. She's like, hi, I'm Clarissa Pena. She wasn't even a counselor at that point. And she said, you need to fund this project because you live on Route 66. And I said, well, I live at East Route 66. And so we had a great discussion about what it means to lift up all of our community and how it means we've got to help each other. And we've got to come together around areas where we can be ourselves, where we can unite cultures, whether it's the car culture of the 1950s or it's the car culture of our Chicano history. Those coming together right here, the West Side coming together with the East Side. That's what this is about. This is a celebration bigger than the West Side, bigger than Albuquerque. This is about the land of enchantment and about the story of America. And for that, I'm very excited to be here. Congratulations, and thank you for connecting all of that, Councilor Pena. Thank you. Gracias.
Well, I've been involved since the beginning because I used to work in the community with lots of awesome community advocates and community groups and neighbors and community leaders. And people just really wanted to make a difference on our side of town. So, you know, the southwest area of town has been an area that's been kind of overlooked for many, many years. And that's precisely why community members decided to get together and to make a difference. And they did, and they envisioned this place for people throughout the community where they can come and celebrate and enjoy museums, a part of our culture, our history with the lowriders and with like the Unsers and others who are going to be able to come here and just cherish not only the facility, but if you look out, it has one of the most spectacular views in the state of New Mexico.
We have to recapture that spirit that made Albuquerque so famous back in the day. Everyone on the west side is taking pride in this facility, but it belongs to all of us, all New Mexicans. And then also just in terms of the property values and the everything from here down Central to Unser to Coors, that whole corridor will be brought back to life. Hopefully, with neon signs and all that good stuff. So it's the exit when you come in from Albuquerque, you take the central exit and boom, there's the visitor center. So it'll be a gateway to the city of Albuquerque.
So this project has been a vision of the community for well over 30 years. The first initial meeting happened June of 1992, documented, but I'm sure that there was planning going on well before that. This is where the community members were able to share their vision and dream with the city and the county, and of course, all the stakeholders in the area. The facility, we're hopeful, will be open in the first quarter of 2023. I'm leaning personally towards January, but it is going to take us some time to curate the museum. We also need to curate a neon sign graveyard, which will display neon from Route 66. And our hopes are is that it would be true, authentic Albuquerque neon that we get to display here. One of the integral parts of this project here has always been about development of the area, and we hope that this will spur that activity here along the West Central Corridor, and that folks will see the value, the beauty of the area, and that they'll begin to develop here in the area as well. So this is for the community, by the community, and why I say that is because there were several constituents that
I
were
need to
part
start
of the
working on
lowrider
my
movement,
ninja walk.
right? That were also part of the business community along the West Central, and of course the residents, on either side of the Route 66. They all came together to create a place in a space where they can showcase their talents, right? That would not, prohibit customers from supporting the businesses, and the constituents, the residents of the area would be able to have some quality of life in their neighborhoods.
It just makes me happy to really see everybody here and how much everyone is appreciating this project and how people feel like this is home. So we're looking at this as the first phase of many to come, right? People have talked about a restaurant and just different ideas. So as we continue to move forward and gather more information from the community about what they want, that'll be what's here.
All right, well, Route 66, as you know, was the highway, the interstate highway from Chicago to Los Angeles. Albuquerque was the most famous city along that highway back in the day. And so there was a #1 hit song, Get Your Kicks, on Route 66. So that's why it's the Route 66 Event Center. But now that folks are getting nostalgic, it's part of American culture, it's part of American history. And so folks will be traveling Route 66. Folks are doing more road trips because of COVID and things are changing. So folks can get in their car, drive to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and see the most iconic place along the Route 66 devoted
so if you all can help us with
history.
The countdown. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Albuquerque!
So I don't know whether you guys recognized him right there at the ribbon cutting. The guy holding the big scissors was one
And
of our.
doing the countdown.
And no. Luis was doing the countdown.
Oh, I thought.
No. Luis was doing the countdown, but the guy holding the scissors up front with the dark suit, that was Stephen Michael Quesada, who we know as a comedian, B, a star in one of the stars of Breaking Bad, and then a politician. He ran first for city council, and now he's in his second term, which is the last term, for county commissioner. And I imagine he has plans to run for a statewide office next. He's a really, really good guy. Isn't anything like the guy he played on Breaking Bad. But he started life as a comedian. One of the first times I saw him was in an event that I was paid to record back in 2010 or 11. I don't even remember the name of the organization, but it had to do with the film industry, and they invited him to kind of warm up the crowd with his comedy act. It was
the first event that Toby and I were at together, but we just didn't know each other.
We just didn't know each other. That's right. We have pictures. So my son Jason was with me. I'll see if I can find that picture to share it with you guys. But my son Jason was with me that night, helping me with the gig. And at some point, he took a picture of me working. And I was in my classic khaki pants, journalist jacket, headphones, camera, on my knees, no less, getting the shot. And Shelley is sitting at a table behind me with her friends, her film, what do you call it, Central New Mexico college friends. But when we saw I think you noticed it first, didn't you?
Well, no, you told me that you were there and you started showing me the pictures, and I was like, I was there too. And there I am.
Yeah, it was very cool. Like before we even, and that was
Hey,
probably
Mary
a
Green's
year or two before I actually did business. That's how Shelley and I actually got to be one another, when I asked the film program at the community college if they'd like to work on a television project that I was being paid to do for the Spanish Colonial Art Society. Anyway, as you can see, it's a beautiful facility. We wanted to do it justice, and we could have made the video a lot longer. We decided to say we're going to stick around 10 minutes for our travel videos.
Yeah.
It will go up at 8 o'clock on its own. So if all you want to see is the video by itself, you're welcome to do that. But I did want to tell you a little bit about how we collected the content. So we heard about this on Facebook. We both, Luis pinged us on it. So we both heard about it on Facebook. We decided right away, Shelley reached out. She got the invitation first, right?
Yeah.
So Shelley reached out and said, we need to do this. And so we had a free day the weekend prior to the event. So we thought, well, if it's still under construction, let's see if we can go get some footage. If nothing else, drone footage. That way we don't have to worry about crowds, things like that. So we got there. We didn't have permission from anyone to do it. And we got there, and so it was Sunday. There was no construction going on, but they had fences all around, and there was a security guard there. So as usual, in my social engineering way, as Shelley calls it, I went and spoke to the security guard and told him what we were trying to do. He happened to be a drone guy. So he said, sure. He said, I can't let you in. I can't let your truck in, but you can come on in. And I said, well, my partner wants to take some handheld. And he said, well, I'm going to have to walk around with her. And of course, he's no dummy. If you're going to spend your time with, your choice is me or her, you're going to take her. And so he followed her around. She got a bunch of handheld footage, which you saw in there. And I did a bunch of drone footage. So we thought, we left that. We also did our road shots, the road shots that we put at the front of our videos. We did that on that day, and we thought, wow, we're ahead of this game. We got a lot of the footage that we're going to need, short of being at the facility.
And on the way home, we stopped and got a green chili cheeseburger at Twister's. And I think we both agree that if you compare the green chili cheeseburger from Twister's to the two that we had down in San Antonio, New Mexico,
there's no comparison.
Twister's is above and beyond.
Yeah.
So if you're ever in Albuquerque, check out Twister's.
And we did. Now I got to admit, it's a little bit more expensive. The Twister's version is like $22 for the two of us.
What?
Yeah.
No, it's because we had two burgers.
Oh, that's right. Good point. We had 2 burgers, 2 fries, and 2 sodas.
They're cheaper and they're better.
Yeah, they're cheaper and they're better. Let's see, late 90s JK Pioneer. Well, this is a good reason to go back. So we'll keep up to speed on how they're going. I know that, we promised everybody we were going to share the video with them, so they'll probably be using this video for their own promotion of the facility. There were some other shooters there, some from, we recognized an old friend of mine named Paul. He works for the Bernalillo County production facility. There were several people there with TV channels, but they didn't have reporters there. They just had the shooters there. So, and that footage is probably already played. But I also saw a pair of guys that were like very special operations. I don't know. They were black jeans, black T-shirts, and they were wearing what looked like tactical gear, but it was tactical gear where you could put, cameras, lenses, and walkie-talkies. And on the back, they said media. I don't know where they came from or if they were actually paid by them to document it. But we feel like we got some real footage. I know for certain we got the best footage of the ribbon cutting because I was on a monopod. My camera was on a monopod, and I just extended the monopod and held it up as high as I could because they were all just,
wall-to-wall people.
Yeah.
It's like, ugh.
So we did that Sunday, and then we got a message. So we have our shows planned for Wednesdays and Thursdays, and then we got a message from Luis saying they were holding a special media preview day on Thursday from 12 to 1 or 11 to 12. Yeah, 11 to 12. And if you wanted to come out, collect some B-roll, and ask any questions, etc. So Shelley and I decided, okay, well, you do the show by yourself. I'll go out and do it. But that also gave us the opportunity not only to shoot additional B-roll, but to spend time with Luis and ask him about what are the things that he was going to do. So we didn't solidify any deals there, but he's got room for a podcast or live stream facility. And if they do that, he knows that he can hire us to build out that facility because he knows our reputation, right? And he's a good guy, and he'll want to make that happen because he had his own live stream. So he knows the rules of this game. We wouldn't have to do a lot of talking. So he can hire us to do that. There's money involved, so we'd be happy to do that for him. So we got that opportunity. I shot some more handheld footage. I don't think I did. Did I do drone work that day? Yeah, I did some additional drone work that day after everybody left. It was funny because there were other members of the media there, but I was the only one asking any questions. And so we got a lot of the answers that it gave us the ability to fill in the blank and prepare for the interviews that we were going to collect the following day. So for us, it's a lot easier than having to write a script just to do interviews and then use those interviews to populate the script line on your video, and that's what we did. So we had the opportunity to not only get Mayor Keller. We know from experience Mayor Keller is a great speaker. He's a brief speaker. He doesn't end up spending a lot of time talking, and he's just a really, really good speaker. And he hit all the high points, just like we hoped. And then we interviewed kind of the woman, not kind of the woman, but the woman who was kind of responsible for making all this happen. And her name is. She's now a city councilor. 12 years ago, she was just a West Side activist. Her name is Clarissa Pena. So we got to interview her. She walked into the lobby that enters the museum, and I just asked her, and she said yes. And she was with Representative Maestas, who represents Bernalillo County, the county that is next to us, that Albuquerque is in. We're in Sandoval County, but. She said, well, if you're going to interview me, you have to interview him. And I go like, well, okay. We knew that we were already planning to interview Luis. We knew that was going to happen and that we'd have that at least. And he gave the longest interview because he's been intimately involved with the development. He's with the West Central Community Development Group. And he's going to run this operation. He's going to be responsible as the operator. Now, they've already hired 4 people who are the workers who will be handling reception, scheduling, planning, getting people in to use the banquet facility. They've already hired a chef for the commercial kitchen. So they're moving rapidly ahead with all of this. And I think it's going to be a, premier facility for the city of Albuquerque and the way things could be, that can be done on the west side. And it really is a beautiful view from up there. Like I said, I'll see if I can find a couple of time lapses that we've shot up there. Hang on
Just because you can't talk doesn't mean I should.
Well, when I clear my throat and your microphone is still on, they'll still hear
So, in
it.
case you hadn't noticed, Mayor Keller touched on it a little bit, and there were other speeches where they touched on it as well that we didn't show. But there is a kind of a rivalry between the east side and the west side of Albuquerque, and what divides us is the river, the Rio Grande. And for a lot of the things that, like the Uptown and the Nob Hill and a lot of the stuff,
University of
even
New Mexico.
downtown, it's all on the east side. Some of the fancier, bigger high schools are on that side of the line. So the west side has always been, the redheaded stepchild, the leftovers, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit, kind of thing. They've really, really, really had to be active and constantly asking for, the representatives to come through for them, to put money aside, to have something that we could call our own on the west side. Now, I'm actually in Rio Rancho, so they wouldn't consider me west side Albuquerque because I'm too far north. And Toby's actually in the city of Bernalillo, so he's not actually in that either, although he used to be near downtown, Old Town, in fact, Albuquerque.
But Shelley makes a valid point in that if you cross the river into east side, you enter into first the area that is Old Albuquerque, then Old Town, then downtown, then the university, then Nob Hill, and then Uptown. So, and then all the more expensive houses that are up on the side, that would be the west side of the Sandias. So that side has developed much more rapidly and much more expensively than the west side. And you've always wondered what happened there. We have Coors that is west of Central. We have Unser, two major thoroughfares that is west of Central, and it still hasn't, promoted development of that area. They developed along Coors and they developed along Unser, and even Unser still hasn't quite developed. But that west side Central and the other nice thing about it is you can get off at Atrisco Vista, the Atrisco Vista exit, get on Central and go all the way down into Albuquerque. If you want the kind of like tourist, like I want to see what goes on here.
Yeah.
But there's never been any development other than guys going out on Saturday and Sunday to the what are referred to as the sand dunes, including apparently
Or
our
the
mayor.
cruising up and down Central.
Or cruising. That's the other thing that you see on the west side. The lowriders will cruise the west side. It's when they say, let's go throw a cruise. That's the word we used to do the same thing in Santa Fe. Let's go throw a cruise. And they cruise the west side. They cruise the west side of the river and back again. And there are some restaurants, there are some, soda stands, but it's not anywhere near as developed as east of the river, which has complete development.
Yeah.
So I
and
think
it was always funny to me is, you come from a bigger city like Phoenix and you come here and people are like, where's the event at? Well, it's on the west side. I'm not going all the way over there.
Yeah.
I'm not going all the way over to the east side. And it's like, okay, the river is like right down the middle, people.
Right.
It's not that far
Right.
just across the river. But, that's how people were.
Yeah, it's funny because you can drive through Albuquerque either on the north-south interstate or the east-west interstate in 20 minutes, right?
Unless it's high traffic hour.
Unless it's a high traffic hour, but you can literally do that, and you're looking at a lot of stuff on the way. If you get off and go on Central, well, it's going to take you a couple of hours to do it on Central because you're going to go through where all the population is and all the stores are and all the
stoplights, and the buses.
the buses and everything. So but on this area in West Central is very easy on, off. And if you need to get back to the interstate, it's very easy back on. And you'll do all of that before you even get into Albuquerque proper, where, whether you're on the interstate or not. So I think it's a great location. I have high hopes for it, and I'm hoping that other companies, larger companies, hotel and restaurant chains, will see the value of starting to put property up there, because it is not only is it underutilized, but it's in a great location. I can't imagine a better location.
Great views.
You know, and great views, man. You
Yeah.
put if you were to put up a hotel across the way from the visitor center, and you look down on Albuquerque, especially in the evening, first when the mountains start turning pink on you, you know, the Sandias, they start turning pink, and then the lights of Albuquerque go up. I'll see if I can find that. I'll put that.
There's some time lapses on this channel about it.
From I'll have to look for
just
it
time
later.
lapses. Yeah.
But we were very excited to see what they're doing. We were very excited that some of the people that we've done business with in the past were involved. And we're going to make sure that they get a copy of this video so that they can use it however they want in terms of promoting it, because I think it does a good job of presenting it. I started to tell you about the collection of content for this because, you know, when we do a day trip, we have to collect all the content in one day. This, because it was close to home, although for us, it's a 45-minute trip from Bernalillo by the time I get down there. But we used it to collect content on the Sunday before, on the media day, the Thursday before. And then when we went, by the time we went, if all we had done was collect the interviews, we would have been okay. That was a lot more fun because that's when they were having a car show. They had vendors there.
We had ribs.
Oh, there was this company, if you get a chance, what is it?
Steam Q.
Oh my goodness. The best ribs I've ever had. They were meaty and tender, and they had a rub on them, and then they gave you a sauce, and it was called strawberry barbecue,
Something like that.
sauce. Oh man, it was good. And then there was the lemonade guy. Who was the lemonade guy?
Loaded lemonade.
Loaded lemonade. A cup that big with a flavored lemonade, and your choices were raspberry, strawberry, cherry, pineapple, some other one. That was just amazing. Between that and the ribs, man. Yeah.
Yeah, and it
Big
was
old-
warm, so we had we were thirsty.
We did all our work. I don't think by that time we had collected the interviews. We had done all the background footage that we wanted, and then we decided she gets hungry around 4:00, and if you don't feed her, she gets hangry. So you got to feed her.
But the music was playing, the bands were playing, so we sat down,
Yeah, it was a
listened
lot
to the
of fun.
music, watched people dancing, had some dinner.
Yeah, and then we got the interviews, and the interviews were serendipitous. We were actually waiting for Luis, but he had all kinds of things that he had to be doing. So I kept saying interview, and he'd say, "Oh, give me 5 minutes," and then. So while I was waiting for him, I was looking for a location to do the interview. We decided that was in the museum with the lowriders. That lowrider that's behind it, that
Orange one.
the orange one, that's a national championship winning lowrider. I mean, and not just for
Yeah,
lowriders,
those
custom
cars
cars.
have toured internationally.
Yeah.
Museums and things. So.
Yeah. So they will have at least one of those in the museum. The museum part is going to be a celebration of Route 66. So there's going to be a lot more than lowriders there once they
Yeah, they're going to
curate.
have a New Mexico Music Hall of Fame
Mhm.
in the hallway. So they'll have pictures and, Hall of Fame stuff in there for different musicians that come from New Mexico.
And there's large monitors every place in the ante room to the museum, in the media room, in the museum. They have all these monitors there that they have plans for. I saw the offices for the people that are going to be operating the facility, and they're very stylish, very well made. The reception area was still under construction. We did get to talk to some people there because that's where they were giving away the T-shirts. But we signed up for their newsletter and, got that out of the way. So we're very happy with it. We're looking forward to its development. And we think it's going to be not only a great addition to the West Side, but a good addition to Albuquerque as a community. And of course, it's actually in Bernalillo County. So it's outside the city of Albuquerque, but it was a partnership between the West Side Development Group, the city of Albuquerque and Bernalillo County and the state of New Mexico. The state of New Mexico was involved as well. So when you have that many organizations involved, all concerned about where their money is going, it takes a little bit longer. But they had a couple of people with a tenacity, like Councilor Pena, that was going to make sure this thing was going to happen, hell or high water. Well, it was on her watch.
Should we say hello to our friends?
Yeah, let's do that.
Hello to our little friends.
Hello.
Say hello to my little friend. Who's here tonight?
Let's see. Well, we saw Colorado Memorial Finishing LLC, or as I like to call him, CMF LLC.
That's a lot of
Also,
letters.
Mary Green is in the room and
Uh-huh.
apparently got the notification prior to
All right.
6 hours from now. So that's good. JK Pioneer's in the room. He said the last time I was in Albuquerque was in the late 90s. Yeah.
Mary
it's
Green was here
bigger.
in 71.
Wow, guys. 71. That was 2 years after I left the University of New Mexico. 71. By that time, by 71, I was already in Vietnam. Come on, Mary. You need to come back and visit the old
71.
Route 66. So
I was 8 years old.
I was getting shot at and you were 8 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's probably better that it was you than me, being that I was only 8. That'd be pretty bad.
I don't know. Those VC, they didn't mind who they
Oh.
shot at.
Godelcon's here.
Goodell
And
Con is
Lorraine.
here. And Lorraine. Hi, Lorraine. Lorraine says, hello, everyone. Hello.
And
Goodell.
JK Pioneer liked the mayor's speech.
You know what? We've done work with him in the past. He is a very good speaker. I feel like someday when I see him do like this, I always feel like he has statewide potential. On a
Yeah.
good day, I'm going like, this guy could be president. This was one of those days where I was going like, man, this guy.
Well,
must-
I've seen him before, and when he was running for mayor, he gave a speech to a group that I was a part of, and I went there, and he had been the state, is it the assessor?
Yeah, who's state assessor?
Very numbers, logical, but all about things that worked.
Yeah.
If it works, let's support it. And he had the facts and figures on, how much money the film industry had brought into the
Right.
state, things like that, and he said, for that reason, he supports the film industry because he could see in the numbers, and he was great. And he's not only a good speaker, he's very intelligent and logical, and how can you
And very
beat that?
charismatic.
So
and
whether or not he can win in an office, he's great when he's in there. So
well,
I
he
don't
didn't
know.
win the state
great.
assessors. I mean, it is
Yeah.
it is an office. Now, New Mexico has the benefit of being a blue state. So if you're a Democrat and you're running for state office, it is very likely you're more likely to win. We do have 3 districts. One of them tends to be a little bit more Republican, the one down south, but the other 2 districts are pretty blue and have always been. I grew up as every member of both sides of my family were Democrats. So I grew up a Democrat, but he's very rational and he's a by the numbers kind of guy, but he's got a lot of personality and he loves being around with people. You can tell every time I see him, he's having a good time being around with people. He's not the kind of guy that comes in, does his speech and leaves. He hangs around to drink, to have the ribs and talk to people. So I've always appreciated that about him. I thought, like I said, I think he could go the state assessor's office. While it isn't a manager, it's not a lieutenant governor or a governor, but I think he has the potential to hold those offices. And now that he has management experience in the city of Albuquerque, which is the biggest city in the state, he could probably go on to that.
If he
I
wants
expect
to,
him
yeah.
do so. Yeah.
I won't see why not.
I don't see why not either. Maybe one of the other things like Congress, maybe a House of Representatives or a United States Senate. He could do it.
Maybe,
He's got the personality for it. He's
especially
got the
if
brains.
Heinrich ever decides he's
Well, that's the other thing too. He reminds me of Heinrich. He's got that same
Yeah.
style.
I mean,
personality.
we like him as a senator, so
Yeah.
we're not anxious for him to leave. But
Right.
if he
He's doing
does,
fine. But I'm a big fan of term limits. We can't see, I believe that senators shouldn't be senators for more than 2 terms and representatives for more than 3. But hey, that's me. All right. What else you got there? What's the
so
plan for next week?
Yeah, good
question.
So Toby's family is coming to visit this coming weekend, and they wanted to be here for Balloon Fiesta. His daughter has rented a large RV for her family, and they're traveling here in that. They're going to be staying at the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center
RV place.
in their RV. And so I thought, why not
Oops,
follow
hold
them
on.
around a little bit?
Hold on. Sorry.
Why not interrupt Shelley the one time she gets to talk during the show?
Go.
So I said, why not follow them around, go to their RV, take a little tour, show where they're at the Indian Cultural Center, because a lot of people don't even know that that's somewhere that they could go and stay in their RV. And then if you're going to the Balloon Fiesta, if it's not raining, like it was raining today all day long, which happens frequently in early October, unfortunately, when they have the Balloon Fiesta. But if it's not raining and they go on Saturday, then get some footage of the Balloon Fiesta plus the whole RV trip part of it. And, that could be fun to talk about next week.
We'll see.
So that was my idea.
I think that's a great idea because I'm going to have to do it anyway. So she's arriving on Friday, and we'll take most of my time from Friday through Sunday. I think they're leaving on Monday, but they're leaving early Monday. I wanted to show you. So this is my daughter, Ryan. This is the one that was South Carolina, that I went to visit in South Carolina. And I think I told you that she's very type A personality. But she's the one that drives a
Suburban?
No, not a Suburban, a Tahoe,
Tahoe?
whatever the biggest
Escalade?
one of those. And she drives it like it's a Miata, I swear to God. But she's 37 now, I think, because Erica just turned 36. I don't think it's going to show me. Anyway, I wanted to show you this thing that she's driving because it's
a Hurricane. It's called Hurricane, which is funny because they just survived a hurricane.
So yeah, they were in Charleston, South Carolina, and so the hurricane went north of my Boca Raton daughter, and then made the turn into South Carolina and went north of my Charleston daughter between
Charleston.
Yeah, Charleston. So this is. Hang on, let me share the screen again here. So it's pretty funny because this is her. So these are the 4 of the 5 kids. The number 5 is in school. So she's got that's Ryan right there. This is them. They're stopping at camping areas, right? That's where they're doing the RV. So when she said RV, I expected like a van kind of thing. Well, here's the picture of the RV. This is, let me see. Oops.
Nope, now you're in a different account.
How do I do that?
Go back to her name. There you go.
Okay. So I have to wait until they get through this. So that's the 8-year-old and the 6-year-old. No, didn't do it right. What did I do wrong?
I don't know. This is Instagram and Facebook. This is a kind of crazy thing about the two of them. They sometimes share and they sometimes don't.
So I was going to show you. There it is. There's the vehicle. So that's the RV that they are traveling in.
A bus.
And her plan is to travel from Charleston, South Carolina to San Diego, California, stopping at Albuquerque on the way. They're making other stops and then drive back. And when she was young, when she was a baby, we used to take trips in what we called the family truckster. It was a Dodge conversion van with captain seats. And so somewhere along the line that just got into her blood and she decided, okay, we're going cross country with the 4 babies. Well, they're not, there's Maddie is a year, 8 months. How old is Maddie? Maddie, baby Maddie.
Oh, she won't be a year till December.
Oh, okay. So Maddie's not quite 1. Maslin is just turned 2 when I was there. Manuel or Manny just turned 6 and Mila is 8. So those are the age ranges. They decided they were going to travel cross country.
That's good.
I think it's a good experience. We did it for them, so I
Yeah.
guess they said like, oh, if Toby and Laura can do that, surely Ryan and Tom can do that. But
That's right.
we need a house-sized vehicle to
To
do
do
it.
it in.
Yeah, that's more than the family truckster, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
That's all right. So that is the plan so far at this point, and we hope that they will be able to visit the balloon fiesta, and that there will be balloons and glowing and all of that, because often the weather is a problem.
So-
if it's too windy or if it's raining, they may not be glowing.
They not only do they
or flying.
not launch, yeah, but they don't even do the glow. What I just found out though is that this balloon fiesta has a drone show, and I don't know if you guys have seen any of them. I actually subscribed to one of them on TikTok, I think. And basically, it's a company who uses these programmed drones, and they put them up in the sky. You might have seen him at, who did it? Was it President Biden? President Biden had him at his one of his celebrations, and they just basically do pictures in the sky with using the drones, these programmed drones, to do it. Well, the Balloon Fiesta has them this year, and I'm balloon fiesta'd out. I go once, got all my pictures, happy, can go do other things. That's one of the children. Oh, it's JJ. I'll call him back. That's their ring. Anyway, they have those drones this year at Balloon Fiesta, but they have to do them early in the morning or late at night. So I'm trying to coordinate all of that so I can get some footage of that as well. The backup, if there's rain or whatever, the backup is, we have two choices for backup. One is, we've been planning to do the bike tour of Santa Fe, meaning we're going to put a camera on the front of my e-bike, and we're going to do the tour of the area around Santa Fe with my commentary. As here's the church that I used to sing as a choir boy in, that kind of thing. And the other option is, you saw the video of the VLA, Very Large Array, fail. That's one of the options as well. We might, if we run out of, we have
Depending on the
different
weather.
options. Yeah, depending on the weather.
But then there's also that other thing that we talked about doing,
Which one?
movies and TV shows and things.
Oh yeah. So Netflix. Do you remember the link?
I'd have to look at my
It
phone.
was
You sent it to me.
Netflix NM something. Let me see if I can find it.
So anyway, they have they have tours of the different places where they did filming at netflixnm.com.
Yeah. So Netflix had recently, like within the past 2 years,
I don't know what the rest of your sentence is, so I can't
a
answer that.
studio.
No, they've been there probably 3 or 4 years by
Have they?
now.
Has it been that long?
I
So
think so.
Netflix established a studio here in New Mexico, and as a result, there's a lot of footage that is shot in New Mexico. Almost, Shelley and I have a great time watching a new movie that comes out and going like, oh, well, that's down there by Socorro, or that's up on the Rio Grande, or then we wait for the credits and we can see all of our friends that have worked on that film. Well, what Netflix did is something very, very cool. They put up Netflix NM for New Mexico, and what they've done is they've put up a map of all the locations in New Mexico that they've used for filming. And so we thought, that'd be really, let's see if I can do it. They have this. So they've just put up the website.
You have to click over there.
Oh, good point. So you have to select the region, and then, so it has this map. That's just the northern region. It has this map of all the places, all the locations in New Mexico, including things like skating rinks and ranches and wineries and stuff like that, where they've actually shot parts for film. And so we thought, wouldn't it be interesting to take some of that information where they've shot these things and make day trips out of them?
And then they
So-
include a little piece of their
Of the film.
just where they're in that one location.
Yeah.
There's one called Hamlet too, and they filmed in the El Pinto. They were filming all around Albuquerque.
Were they?
Yeah.
Well, the one that
It's
I
an
like
older
is
film.
the one that had that this one that's on the screen right now. Right. That was the one
Is
with
that the
all
Western?
the black Western
Uh-huh.
that Sean, our friend Sean, worked on. So we have a good friend, Sean Scott. You guys know him, Sean Scott, and he's in locations, and so he gets to work on a lot of these films, and he always has the good vibes for us, good
Yes,
information.
Lorraine Longmire was filmed in New Mexico.
Yeah.
And in fact, I was background on Longmire a couple of times.
I've never been in front of the camera. I've always been behind the camera. That's my lot in life, to be behind the camera. Anyway, so that's another option. We're going to research that and see if there's anything that that we can do with that. We think it's a kind of cool thing.
But most of Longmire was filmed Santa Fe and like Glorieta up in that area.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, that was as close to look. If you look
It's supposed
at
to
that
look
area,
like Wyoming, which
yeah,
it does.
Yeah.
If you've been to Wyoming and you've been to northern New Mexico, they do look the
they
same.
do look a lot alike. There's areas that
It's funny that we're separated by Colorado, which looks very different.
Well, Colorado, I
So
think
pretty.
honestly is one of the most beautiful states in the nation. Once you
It
drive,
is.
if you drive some of the high roads. So we used to, whenever we went north, like when we went to Wyoming and Montana, we'd have to drive through Colorado, and you realize Colorado, when you're driving through those high mountain roads, Wolf's Pass, and they're kind of scary in the winter, but it's just a beautiful state, lakes and rivers and mountains and trees. And I know there's other states that probably think of themselves with, but if you've driven all 50 states like I have, Colorado is number one for me.
Mm. Interesting. Yeah.
So
And it's close
suburban,
by.
that's what she drives.
Yeah.
So, and she
That's what I
drives.
said.
Okay, that's the one. It's the big one, whatever the big one is.
They're all big.
And she drives, has 9 seats. She uses all 9 seats. It has TVs for all the brats. I'm sorry, all the cute little kids. And she drives it like it's like she's just swinging around, talking and being on the phone at the same time. That's amazing, just amazing. I'm sure she drives that Hurricane. She said when I talked to her today, she said she was doing most of the driving. So
Her post says her little 2-year-old is, "You're doing a good job driving, Mommy."
good job, Mom. Good job. All right.
Mary say, missed the balloon fiesta in 80, was on our way to Texas, saw a billboard, but was 3 days late. Oh, does run the first 2 weekends in October every year, except for 2020. They didn't have it then. I think they
2021.
had a reduced one last year.
Well, they had people that showed up and kind of it wasn't a formal fiesta.
Mm.
It was people that just came from out of all over and said, "Can we fly our balloons here?" Right? We're wearing masks or whatever you have to do.
Yeah,
but it wasn't a formal.
But it's
fiesta.
back on now.
Yeah. Well, the only bad thing about it is we've had 7 contiguous days of rain. Which is not good.
Well, it just rained in the morning yesterday. Today it rained all day long.
Yeah. So I'm kind of worried that they might not get the balloon fiesta that they expected. I know she's
Yeah.
already bought the tickets, but
Yeah.
so they'll
go.
She always seems to make the
Yeah,
best
there's fun
choice.
things to do there. It's kind of like going to the fair because they have all the food booths and little shops, like selling hats and souvenirs and
The
pins and all the
pins,
things.
yeah. There are people who collect the pins. Every one of the balloonists have their own pin. And so they trade those. But you can also buy balloon pins from not only the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta, but other balloon festivals
Every year
as well.
they have a
new
commemorative pin
right.
that you can get for that year's
Right.
fiesta. But not every balloonist has their own pins, but they mostly do have those cards. So you can go and ask them for their little cards, and it's got a picture of their balloon on it. And on the back, it tells you about the crew or about the balloon itself and things like that.
So Shelley and Kevin were on a balloon crew for several years, right?
Kevin
long time.
was. I was just kind of a
Hang around, stand her by,
periphery.
watching them do the work.
I did. I know I helped a few.
I remember you
helped
having
a
to
few
help. I
times,
remember,
but Kevin was more into it than I
Yeah.
was.
Yeah. And the payoff when you do that is you may get a balloon ride. I think that's why everybody, the people who do that with the expectation that sooner or later they're going to get a balloon ride.
I did. I got a few.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
I've never
I got
been.
it. Pagosa Springs. I got one.
Gallup or
in
Grants?
Gallup, outside of Gallup.
Yeah,
did
I
the
remember
rocks.
that one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should probably do that one day. I never have.
Yeah. It's not a big deal.
It's
Once
good
you've done it,
footage.
it's
Good
like
footage, man.
meh.
Meh.
Depends on your camera, I guess.
Well, the other thing too is you can do it with a drone and not have the expense of getting a
That's
balloon.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So,
That's all we have for today.
I think that's all we have.
That's
So
right.
we'll come up with a show. We got several options for next week's
And
show.
if there's
we just don't know
anything
what
that
it
you
is.
would like to see in New Mexico,
Let us know.
Yeah.
We'll go and do it for you.
that's right.
All right. So let me take the banner
We
down.
can even go down and check out
Let me take-
Cadelcon's pecan trees.
Yeah, you should let us go down there because we've always wanted to shoot the pecan trees, but it always says private property. Although technically I could fly over it. I wouldn't be surprised if one of those southern New Mexicans pulled out a shotgun and started taking shots at my drone.
Pecans should be dropping anytime in the next couple of months.
Is that how they do? Is that how they work?
They drop in usually around November, December.
Is that the one where they get
November,
they get a tree
October,
shaker
November.
and they shake the heck out of the tree?
You can.
Is it?
Yeah.
How come you know so much about pecan trees?
Kevin's parents had 6 pecan trees.
Oh.
And they'd have pecans every year.
I'm a walnut fan.
Yeah, walnuts are good.
Yeah.
They're good for you.
Yeah, they're good and they're good for you. All right, guys. We will see. Well, join us tomorrow.
Comment off.
What?
Take the comment down.
Oh.
Oh, Cadelcon, I'm getting ready to buy another 2.5 acres.
Damn, you're serious about this stuff, huh?
Likes them pecans.
Gee.
Good stuff. I like
Well, there's
pecans.
money in it, right? You sell the pecans. You don't eat them.
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't eat all of them. That's way too many.
Hmm.
One tree is too many.
You have to give them to friends.
Yeah. Kevin's family usually gave us like a big grocery sack full of them every year. And we had to crack them and
Did I ever
everything.
tell you a story about the time my dad bought or traded a truck for 400 pounds?
Yes.
Oh.
That's in the
It's in the book, isn't it? Isn't it
It's
in
in
the book?
the book. I made you put it in the book
Because you'd heard the story one too
so
many
many
times.
times.
Yeah. Might as well put it in the book.
Put it in the book.
Oh, he says he's going down next week to get ready for harvest.
All right.
Yeah. Well, let's go with him and shoot
Hey,
that.
yeah. Let us know. We'll come down there and shoot
Yeah,
that.
that's way down in Las Cruces. That's more than a day trip.
No,
to get-
he's not in Los Cruces. He's between here and Socorro, isn't he?
I don't know. Where are you? Where's your pecan? What is it? Grove tree farm?
Grove. Well,
Grove?
farm.
Where's your pecan tree? Do you have to roast pecans? I guess you have to roast walnuts,
No.
right?
See, it's got a green covering on it, and that kind of turns brown and pops off. And then you've got the pecan in the shell, and then you just crack the shell and eat the nut, or put it in a pecan pie. No, you don't have to roast them.
Oh, really?
Roasting is just if you want.
Do you have to roast walnuts?
No,
So how come I have to roast pinon?
I don't know.
Hmm.
Because it comes from a pine tree. I have no idea.
I don't know.
Go with
We can see the harvest. Yeah, Mary.
La Luz. He's in La Luz.
I don't know. Where is La Luz?
I don't
Hang
know.
on.
We'll
Let
have
me-
to look
let
at
me
the
check
map.
it out here.
Check the map.
Google de los maps.
Donde es La Luz?
Let's see. Oops. Come on.
You like my Spanish?
Yeah, that was really, really bad Spanish. But
Aw.
okay. No, that was
It's
actually
my
that's
high
pretty good.
school Spanish.
Yeah, no, yeah.
It's been a while since I was
You
in
know
high
what?
school.
When you speak Spanish, for as little Spanish as you
Gotta
speak,
wait for the
it's usually
first
pretty good.
freeze to harvest.
Yeah, we haven't. We're not anywhere near that. I think last night it was 48.
Where's La Luz?
So see,
La Luz.
Luz and
Knew it.
Ahí está. Okay, so we need directions from
Home.
home. Oh, this is the one that doesn't understand where my home is.
Oh,
I'm just going to put from Bernalillo.
Yes. New Mexico. Yes. Wee.
Oh,
3
well,
hours.
that's not
and
bad.
21
That's a day
minutes.
trip. That's a fair day trip. So maybe we could let us know
3
when
and a
you're going
half
down.
hours to La Luz.
3.5 hours, 220.
Boy, that's down by
Oh, and you
White
have to go
Sands.
through Carazozo. We could kill two proverb. What is it you say? Feed two birds with one seed, and do White Sands. Oh no, that's the missile range.
Oh.
Here, let's share that with the folks.
Well, let us know. You've got our email.
So we're there, and La Luz is down here. So you'd have to cross. That is the missile range right there, but that's White Sands. Isn't that White Sands National Park there? Yeah, White
Mhm.
Sands National Park. So we can't fly drones,
No.
but we could go do the pecan thing here, We could also take the high road to Cloudcroft. Cloudcroft is really pretty this time of year.
That's a couple days. That's spending the night.
And White Sands is spending the night. We might have to anyway with the 3 hour.
You know, if you could hit a full moon and spend the night, it's a popular place to be.
La Luz or
White
Cloudcroft.
Sands.
Oh yeah. Oh, and they open it up.
Yeah, they let you camp overnight, but it's dry
Well,
camping.
that's the one I thought the way we'd do that is we'd put the action cam on the bike and there's a 12-mile loop road and do that. I mean, do some other visitor center and things like that, but that'd be a fun one to put on the e-bike. So we'll see. All right. Well, let us know. Godelcon 5 Sacramento Place. That's where he's at.
Uh-huh.
We should write that down.
Okay.
Where's my notebook? Got it?
I will write it down.
5 Sacramento Place in La Luz. La Luz.
Got it.
Okay. Well, let us know when you're going down there. We might show up with camera equipment and, a crew of 12. And actually, it's just me and Shelley. But we work like we're 12. Plus, look at this. Look at this baby right here. This is our newest, Pocket, Osmo Pocket 2. Phone goes here. Got the handles, gimbal.
Got a light.
It's loose. Damn it.
It's
I
lovely.
better tighten it up. And then we just got this is the new Osmo Action Cam. This is the one that competes with the GoPro. So I'm just a DJI bigot, I guess. I just love their stuff. They have good stuff.
Anyway, the equipment that we used to shoot this weekend, we used the cell phone, right?
You shot on a cell phone. Yeah,
the
on a gimbal, on an
gimbal.
Osmo OM4.
And
Or
you
a
shot
DJI
on
OM4.
the Lumix
I shot the Lumix on a Feiyu.
monopod.
Well,
On a Feiyu and a monopod.
and a monopod. I used the Pocket for the media day. I used the Pocket for the media day, and then the drone. So we could end up a full DJI, DJI drone, DJI Pocket,
We should,
and DJI.
ask them for sponsorship.
We should ask them for sponsorship. We use a lot of their equipment. The only things that we don't have is their mics. I went with the.
Off-brand.
It's not off-brand.
Oh.
They're a well-known brand. They're just not DJI.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Godelcon said he'd let us know when he's going down. We'll go down there and satisfied Mary and Mary's need to see the harvest.
Very good. I think the freeze makes the nuts fall off the trees.
Certainly does.
Or
Oh, no.
breaks the green shell off of the brown shell.
I was going to make a nut joke, but I decided not to.
Okay.
Thank God. It's not a family. It's family friendly.
Not family friendly.
Yeah, it is family. But it was
The
a
joke
non-family. Right.
Okay.
All right. Say your goodbyes.
Well, thanks for being here with us tonight. We appreciate it. And we will be back again next week with more fun and games. Well, maybe not games, but more fun.
We just don't know what it is yet. So maybe that makes it even more fun. when we don't
And
know what
yeah,
the
we
fun-
look forward to Ryan and her family coming out this weekend and having a ball.
We'll
and
get some
maybe going
footage.
to the balloon fiesta.
Yeah, we'll get some footage of that. I'll post some footage of the Ryan and the Ryan
Just some
Tom.
Instagrams.
She's married to Tom, but she's like the dominant personality. So sometimes we forget that Tom's around. He's very quiet, very cerebral, but he's a good guy, and he's very patient with Ryan. And
And he cooks.
he cooks, and he
So-
cooks
What else could you ask for?
pork chops that thick that melted in your mouth. Pork chops. That's how tender they were. All right, you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. If you see us tomorrow.
Bring your metal detector. Might be some gold coins laying around.
Oh.
In the Pecan Grove.
I'll bring my whole metal detecting kit. Oh, one of the things that we want to do, speaking of that. don't get me
Never
started.
mind. We're here all night.
We're here all night. We want to find out about the Jornada del Muerto, or the Royal Road Visitor Center, which was closed. It's down by San Antonio, where we were, about a month ago. So that's a possible trip too. So we had all kinds of
And
things.
we got to hit the birds again.
We had but the birds not until probably late October, early November.
That's not far away.
Oh, you're right. It isn't far away because that's when they all come en masse. They flood those places that we saw.
That's not too far away. It's a
And
few weeks away.
There's nothing more amazing to me than shooting literally their sunset liftoff where there's literally 10,000 birds going up or more than that going up at once. And the only thing that you can hope is they fly in a direction.
There's your mass ascension.
There's your masses. You can't do the balloons. Might as well do the birdies.
Yeah. Birdies don't care if it's raining.
They're
They're going to fly
some
either way.
comments here. Bring metal detector. Mary says footage of ending too. Mary Green.
Mining, metal detecting.
Oh,
MD.
metal detecting. I'll bet you that's what she meant. She
Yeah.
just sorry. Yeah, we can do it. We actually made a metal detecting video. I think it's over on the old AGK.
Probably.
We did a metal
Yeah.
detecting where I was teaching Shelley how to use a metal
That's
detector.
boring. It's so boring.
Well, it's me teaching Shelley how to be bored to death. So
Yep.
so Mary says yes. All right,
Especially when
guys.
you don't find anything.
Did you say your
Very
good
well.
nights already?
Thanks for being here. We'll be back again next week with more stuff. So join us
Either that
again.
or we'll just stay here until next week. So
and
yeah.
again, write to us if you have anything you want us to go look at in New Mexico, or if you'd like to invite us to wherever it is that you are.
You are, yeah.
in New
That would be
Mexico.
fun. That would be fun if you happen to be in New Mexico and you
Yeah.
want to. So once they open the Route 66 Visitor Center, if you want to go, we can give you the tour. We know people. So, all right, guys, we love you.